Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here, episode 235. My name's Ant. Tom is on this episode, but we stupidly forgot to record an intro. After 5 years, you would have thought we'd be used to that by now. You can find us at www.abhpod.com. I have redirected the website now, so you can just do abhpod.com and it will go over there, or you could do abhpod.podbean.com. Either one would work. On that website, up in the right hand corner, you will see an Amazon banner. If you click on the Amazon banner, go buy something in the sales, we will get 5% of your basket spend. It won't make any difference to your shopping experience. You can just do that. You could even bookmark it. Once you've clicked on the banner, bookmark that address, and that will credit every time you click on it. It will take you straight to Amazon, but it will have our link in there, so it credits us for whatever you buy at the time. It does really help us towards our hosting costs and things like that. If you don't want to buy anything on Amazon and you want to contribute to us more regularly, you could go to patreon.com/abhpod, or you could use the Patreon banner on our website for just $1 a month, or however much you want to do. You do have the option to donate more. You can get extra content. You can get after the podcasts, you could get YouTube videos early, you could get spoiler casts when we record them. It's just $1 a month, that's it. That's the best way to do it. You get extra content. You get a special link as well you can paste into your podcasting app, and all the audio content we produce, the extra audio content, will be sent there. You can get this episode and every other episode without the intro as well. So it's very handy and we do really appreciate it. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/abhpod. You can find us on Twitter at abhpod. You can find us on YouTube, as mentioned before, youtube.com/abhpodcast. If you've got anything to say to us, you want to get in contact with us, talk to us about anything, you could do it that way, or you can email us abhpod@gmail.com. On this episode, as we're closing in on completing 5 years of podcasting, we get a bit flowery and we start to reminisce about how far we've come as podcasters and people. We attribute a lot of that to our friends that we've made through podcasting, and our friends in real life, and our partners and everything as well. It all gets a bit nice, really. Other than that, that's a huge majority of the show, so I guess first we'll leave you with a bit of Brexit talk, as always. Enjoy. I was also thinking, this morning, I know we don't like to talk about Brexit too much now, but you and I were tagged in something.
Yeah, I saw that just this morning.
Yeah, that's where I got it as well. But also, that was the second thing.
Right, yeah.
That happened this morning to do with that, and I'm like, I have to. So
okay, we'll get it out of the way early, and the rest of the show will be.
That's it.
The rest of the show will be fluffy and fun. Believe me.
Hopefully,
we'll kind of
until we remember something. But yeah, our friend Matt Veach tags us, and the thing is, I didn't realise he must know we do the podcast. He might listen every so often. But he's not someone I realised would have been a listener. But the fact that he only tagged us two in it
which
makes
kind
me
of
think.
Leads you to believe.
And it's on a Sunday morning when we record.
So Matt,
does he listen?
Cheers, mate.
Do you listen? If you do, thanks. But it was a really poorly worded thing. It could have been written better. But it's from, what page was it from? It was British Freedom of Speech News.
Yes,
that page,
which obviously is sanctioned by right-minded people, and it's
really,
a proper organisation. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not just
it just rolls off the tongue. British Freedom of Speech News, doesn't it?
Not just some gammon-looking motherfucker.
And it says, "How come? If it's human in the channel, it's ours, but if it's fish, it belongs to the EU." How are they comparable?
They're
How
not.
are those two things comparable?
I mean, famously, fish don't even have feelings.
No, I just don't get the thought process I don't get how you come up with that. Oh, well, it's a fish, and the EU get that one. Well, if it's in
The EU don't get that, though, do they? The EU has a quota for various countries fishing in those waters to fish acceptable amounts of fish.
Yeah.
It's not the EU's fish.
No.
It's a fish. And these aren't EU migrants either.
No.
I'd like to point out.
No.
Even if we leave the EU, which is likely but I can't see how.
Yeah. They're still
going to come here. And there's been a massive reporting of there's been a spike in the numbers of refugees being.
Is it a spike in the numbers of refugees, or is it a spike in the numbers of refugees being reported?
They're coming across by dinghy.
Yeah.
Because of security clampdowns in France and them clearing up all the the camps.
So it's more instances because there's less people in each vessel.
Yes. No. There's more people trying to come across by sea rather than in the back of lorries.
Oh, okay.
Because security is tightened in France
on the lorries,
and they're also trying to clear out some of the migrant camps. In France. So there's more people trying to make it across in dangerous ways.
So are you saying, as we're approaching the deadline for Brexit, France are clearing out and making sure, hey, they're not on our side of the water anymore?
I'm not saying that.
You're not saying that's what's happening?
That in preparation for a hard border,
yes,
they're clamping down on security, which makes sense, right?
Yes.
And because they're clamping down on security, these migrants want to come to the UK but now can't get in the back of lorries. There's going to be more of them getting in boats and coming across the channel. It's just going to happen.
See, this
is a direct consequence of Brexit.
This is the thing. I saw a thing. It's like somebody posted a few weeks ago. Oh, thank fuck, we're coming out of the EU. Yeah. It will stop all of this. And it's like, no,
it's going
because
to
of this,
things.
more are coming because they're worried they won't get in after the Brexit.
But equally, they can't stay in EU countries.
Yes, I did just call it the Brexit.
Yeah, the Brexit.
I meant the Brexit clampdown. I stopped too early. I apologise.
But yeah, because they can't stay in EU countries like France, we're not in the EU anymore. So we're going to be even more of a target for immigration. So all these people who thought they were taking back their borders, and we're going to have to take them in if they come across the channel. Sorry.
Yeah. So when we speculated, like before the vote went through, that the border would move to our shores, and people were saying, no, that's not how it works. Yeah. That's how it's working.
That's how it's working.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah. And the French can't police it anymore because they don't.
It's not their job to police our borders.
No, exactly.
Because we're not part of the same group anymore. So, and the thing is, with this, how come if it's human, it's in the channel, it's ours. If it's fish, it belongs to the EU.
Yeah.
Those fish aren't making their way to our country and then being spotted when they're in our waters.
No.
Whereas these migrants are coming across in the dinghies, and then we go, oh shit, there's people in the water, we need to get them onto safe land. That's how it works. The fish are quite happy to stay in the water.
Oh, yeah.
They're not making their way to any country.
To your belly.
Like,
they're not sacrificing themselves for your culinary.
It's just not the same thing. Oh,
yeah.
It's so, pisses me off.
But of course, the other thing that happened this week, I am eating a sausage roll.
Oh, fuck.
Piers Morgan tweets out that, vegan sausage rolls are an affront and all this kind of thing.
Why are we calling it sausage roll? Shouldn't we call it vegetable mush roll? No, because a sausage is a shape.
Yeah.
Sausage does not constitute what is in.
Some people might call their pig sausage as a kind of funny joke. It's a funny name.
It's a vegetable sausage roll as opposed to a pork sausage roll.
Yeah.
Because sausage is the shape.
However, it just kind of what I really enjoy about that is that all the fast food chains got on their Twitter accounts and were
amazing,
like, here's a vegan pizza, here's a vegan Happy Meal option, here's a vegan
it's the fact that like Domino's or Pizza Hut or whoever it was is actually tagging McColl's like, we're with you, McColl's, here's our thing. Like it's brilliant.
Very rare that you can actually get on board with fast food places, but Twitter is a place where they work really well. I mean, it's like when KFC ran out of chicken earlier on this year, and their marketing department just reorganised the letters in KFC to read FCK.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. You're like, well, at least they're taking ownership for it, I guess.
I think actually it's those. I know there's occasions they come like several times a year where fast food chains actually their Twitter team are right on the ball. I know Wendy's every year. Wendy's is a fast food chain in the States.
Yeah.
Every year there's a National Roast Day, and Wendy's actually roast people.
Oh right.
Like they say, hey, it's National Roast Day. Let us know where you are, and people tweet them saying roast me, and then Wendy's actually roast members of the public and stuff. It's brilliant.
Right.
So they get onto it. There's There's a fast food chain in Texas, and I can't remember what they're called. But when Rooster Teeth had, when they were premiering the new series of Ruby, every time a new series of Ruby starts, they actually make Ruby-related content on this fast food chain. Like, it's not that Rooster Teeth go, "Hey, can you do this for us?"
It's not endorsed.
There's someone who works there, who runs their marketing, their Twitter marketing, is a fan and just joins in, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, they just jump on. Yeah, I thought Piers Morgan, we all know he's a cunt.
Yeah, exactly. There's no point discussing
and
that,
the
is
fast
there?
food chains were brilliant. It's ridiculous to get upset over that. Why not? What was it? Somebody tweeted... Was it Piers Morgan? No, other people were tweeting Greg and saying, "Oh, why are you pandering?" And then they quote tweeted it and put catering. Which is brilliant. So why are you pandering? Catering, not pandering, catering.
Yeah. And, who doesn't love a sausage roll?
Yeah. Whether it's vegan or pork.
But vegans
or
probably would like a little bit of, a phallus-shaped pastry product as well.
Exactly. In all honesty, vegans do piss me off sometimes.
Of course,
but
yeah.
why should they not eat?
I'm not on the side of vegans.
No, it's like, why? Like, just because they've chosen this ridiculous diet doesn't mean they deserve to starve.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're not going to starve if Greggs don't make a vegan sausage roll. That's
of course not. But veganism is on the rise, and places like Greggs are gonna, like other places, are going to start doing vegan options.
Yeah, it's
There are entire vegan restaurants.
Yeah.
There is a demand
and
for
they do
vegan.
really well.
Yeah.
But I always do I like the joke, "How do you spot a vegan?" Usually wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or
you don't
it's the
have
same thing.
They'll tell you.
Yeah. Or how do you know if someone's a runner? Because they will tell you. How do you spot a vegan runner? They've got a t-shirt and they tell. Like, they do. I was doing the marathon and it's like vegan runners. It's like, I think like next year or this year even, I might get one that just says carnivore runner.
Yeah.
Or well, no,
omnivore,
actually, omnivore runner.
Yeah.
Because I do eat both.
Yeah.
By dietary, whatever. I don't know what to call it. The second thing that happened to me this morning, with regards to sort of Brexit or left-wing, right-wing bollocks, was Liz was watching a dance competition TV reality show.
Oh, was it The Greatest Dancer from
the
last
one
night,
where, yeah. She was watching it this morning.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, because the audience get to vote whether the doors open and stuff like that. They turn their lights on. It's weird. But there's a guy like between two of the acts, and the guy goes, "Oh, this voting malarkey, it's harder than voting for Brexit." It's like, it shouldn't be.
No.
It really shouldn't be.
In fact, the vote on that show is the same as voting for Brexit. It's yes or no, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
This decision of whether that dancer should have the door open or not should not be more difficult than voting whether. You obviously needed to think about your Brexit vote a lot more than you did. Like,
yeah.
I didn't realise I was going to get angry about Brexit during a dance
on a
competition.
reality TV show.
This vote. This vote's harder than Brexit. It's like, no, it really shouldn't be.
Yeah. I must admit, I wasn't watching that last night. I'm not going to watch that last night. But the reason that I wasn't watching it last night is because I was listening to the rerun on Radio 4 Extra of Adam Roach's documentary.
What?
Yeah.
I know. Who says podcasting doesn't pay?
Yeah.
It does if you work at it.
Very hard.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's
unreal, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I stuck it on from 7 and was listening through till 10. And it was essentially it was kind of like a kind of Attaboy Clarence / Secret Histories, but it wasn't the same. Obviously, there wasn't as much comedy content as the Attaboy Clarence.
Yes.
And it wasn't as in depth as Secret Histories because it was only 3 hours rather than 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could tell there was Adam's stamp on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
The voice mainly.
But they allowed him to use his personality.
Yes, because I briefly tuned it because I went. Well, I was working. Hang on,
overnight,
I get confused.
Right?
Friday night I worked, so I came home Saturday morning about 8 o'clock, and I just had like a decaf tea and I had some food and sort of sat and spoke to Liz and I quickly loaded it up, and I was like to my daughter, I was like, hey, you know that barbecue I go to every year? This is him on the BBC radio. And she was like, what? And it was just his voice coming out of my phone isn't unusual, but the fact it was on the BBC website
was different, right?
It's surreal.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it. I'm not surprised. It's not surprising at all.
No.
Because
it feels like a kind of almost like a natural progression.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But also, we've known about these kinds of projects for a little while ourselves, anyway.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's so like we say to him all the time, and we say on here, it's so well deserved. Like,
utterly.
Yeah.
I was texting him this morning. I was just saying that I've loved watching the progression.
Yes.
And I couldn't think of a more deserving person.
No.
For it to happen to.
Yeah, because
like not kind of taking away anything from any of our other
no,
pod
pals,
of course, but Adam really does put in the effort, and he's found a niche and he's exploited it.
Yeah. He had a clear target. Like it was.
Yeah. Like he wasn't just doing film reviews. He was also presenting a copyright-free. Yeah. I mean, it was like Attaboy Clarence at its concept is such an easy idea.
Yeah.
Like, the original episodes were he would come on, introduce the thing that he's about to play the entire radio drama, and then kind of do an outro, and it's like. That's fucking genius. Because it's all copyright free and you're doing virtually no recording. You're just whacking a great MP3 file.
Yeah, it's progressed. Like, Attaboy Clarence has progressed a lot now. He's taken elements from Secret History where he does a bit of research, explains the story behind it.
But he also brought in, Suki.
Yes.
As a character, his dad as a character. He brings in the comedy elements. There's the adverts, the old-timey adverts that get taken the piss out of. Which are some of my favourite bits.
What was my favourite one? It's the something musical. Oh, I can't remember what it was now. So one I said needed to be a T-shirt,
right?
Because it's a thing that people don't know what it is, but it's a really good. Oh, that's fascinating musical.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Something adore. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it was brilliant. Like I loved it, and it's like.
Because also he brought Brooke Darnell onto Radio 4 as well. She had a little section where he introduced her towards the last hour or so when talking about Harry and his involvement in the Profumo affair that also was it was something to do with JFK was also implemented implemented I'm not going to start that in it. And, because obviously she works at the Library of Congress, she can find all those things, which is also what's helped him out on the Secret History stuff as well, It's, I mean, what could be next? This is the thing,
The thing is, with Adam, it's not being in the right place at the right time.
No.
It's
putting the work in, making a quality product.
Yeah.
And being recognised for it.
Yeah.
And obviously having high-profile listeners is always good.
Yes.
Because he's listened to by various actors, directors, that kind of thing.
It's crazy seeing some of the fucking people that tweet him, and it's what?
Yeah. Although, did you see Stinking Paws got their first blue tick follower the other day? Yeah. Barbara Dickinson. So, congrats. I think our only one is Tay-Zonde.
And the voice of Siri. She's a follower.
Yeah, she follows us too.
What?
We don't even use Siri in the show, but,
Yeah, we got the voice of Siri. I don't think she's got a blue tick. No. Why have we got Tay-Zonde?
I have no idea. He turned up, I think the All Seeing Guys got followed by him a little while ago as well.
He's a fan of the Pod Pals.
Yeah.
Or
our little
just
group,
podcasts,
British podcast.
Oh, that'd be Brit Pod Scene, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so it's been and that was kind of what sparked off the conversation we were kind of having when you came in at the very beginning of this episode. Because actually, it's been quite interesting to see over the past few years. Because we're heading into our 6th year. This is the end of our 5th.
Yes, we figured it out now.
Yeah. I went back just a couple of days ago. I was like, so we joined Twitter in 2013.
Yes.
So 2019 is the beginning of our 6th year.
Yes, right.
So we've done half a decade of this.
It's too much.
When you put it, we've it's ridiculous. I think was it the first year we did like how much content have we put out?
I think it was the end of the first year or the end of the second year we figured out how many hours.
Yeah.
There's too much now. I know we're kind of doing half as much now, like as every other week.
True.
I think some of the episodes are longer.
But we're also doing
We're also doing the after podcast and doing YouTube stuff as well. So I mean, we have got. I'd love to know like the total size. Files. Because obviously when we put the MP3 out, it comes around 100 megabytes. But the actual recordings themselves are like 3 or 4 gig for each episode. So,
and there have been some very long ones.
Really long ones. This is really long ones.
Yeah. Some needlessly so. But that's kind of the joy of this. I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter the other day. Ian.
Yes.
At Beardad on Twitter there. I was saying to him, hopefully, because he does kind of FF.
Well, Friday, every Friday.
And he tags in a whole bunch of other shows.
Yeah, and with him, it's not just, hey, follow these guys. Like, he doesn't just include us, because when we actually interact with him, he does sort of make references to the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he's actually a listener.
Yeah, which is cool. But yeah, I was saying, it's definitely not going to be as inaccurate as last time.
Yeah.
Hopefully will be. Although, to be fair, it's, the first one after Christmas and New Year. So my brain is like mush because I'm basically made up of chocolate, cheese and wine right now.
Sounds about right. It's Christmas. Twiglets, cheese footballs and dry roasted peanuts.
But I think he gets what this show is as well, though. That's the thing. Like, whenever I've said anything before, he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, we get it. We get it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and hey, let's get into it, as it's half a decade, and, it's the first one of the new year, a bit of reminiscence, but the first, and we've done it before, where we say, hey, the first episode, we said this was our goal. To get, mine was more confident behind the mic, more confident within ourselves.
Yeah.
Try and figure out what the fuck we want to do with our lives. Yeah. As adults, what do we want to be when we're adults? When we're grown up, sort of thing. And even since the last time we've done that, you sort of, I think you got back into journalism proper. Yeah. Because you were in the bank when we started, weren't you?
Yes, I was, and I was having a really rough time of it, actually, both personally and professionally. And I needed something to do, basically, to get me the fuck out of the house and kind of get my head in straight. Yeah.
Because we've said not multiple times this is like therapy for us.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even let's say since last time we revisited that first episode where we said, hey, this is what we want out of it. Even since then, so another 2 years later, our lives are completely different again.
Yeah, I'm not just the guy who does the web stuff now. I'm the guy who produces a magazine.
Yes.
And the travel aspect of my job has grown ridiculously.
You're actually on the editorial team.
Yeah,
I'm
deputy editor.
But
my editor is editorial director, so oversees all the other magazines. So I do more than most deputy editors because my editor doesn't have the amount of time that a regular editor would.
Yeah, so he's not overseeing just your portion of the magazine or whatever. You're overseeing your a team, I suppose.
No, it's just me and him.
Or just you and him, but you're overseeing that whole.
I'm overseeing the entire process. Basically. Yeah. He and it's nice to have that autonomy as well. He knows that I never miss deadlines. Yeah. And he knows that I work hard and actually have an idea of what I'm doing.
He trusts you to just do it, get on with it.
Yeah.
Which is really nice Yeah, which must be like a really nice feeling.
It is, yeah, because you still have that imposter syndrome. Like, I still don't know enough about what it is that I'm writing about. But, like, I know a lot more than I did 2 years ago.
Yes.
I'm much more in tune with what's going on, but the technical side of things, I'm still like, I'm not really sure I understand exactly what you're talking about.
But I think it becomes evident, like the imposter syndrome sort of almost takes a back seat. Or it's just sort of like it's hanging on by a thread. When somebody else comes in and you're explaining what you do to them or your job to them, your mind goes, oh, maybe I do know what I'm doing. Maybe I do know what I'm doing. Like, so the imposter syndrome is still there.
Yeah. Oh,
you can sort of get a little bit of confidence and you're like, oh, but.
Oh, wait, I'm meeting like a scientist who came up with this software stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously it's always, and I would imagine like in your line of work as well, because your job is to write the magazine, write what they tell you, but ask the right questions. And, you know, but every day you're meeting people who say these words.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Should I know what you're talking about? Yeah. Should I know what those words mean? And then, but you're the reporter.
Yeah.
You're not in their field of work.
The problem now is that now I'm deputy editor. Yeah. I can't get away with being like, I don't really have like a background in this stuff like I could when I was just like.
But you can.
Yeah, it's true, but I can't make out like I'm completely fucking stupid either. Like, because that's I leaned on that quite heavily for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Even at the very end of the second year, and before I got onto the magazine, I was like, well, I don't really have a background in this, so I don't really understand all the concepts. Yeah. Whereas now you're kind of like, I'm the deputy editor.
You expected to have at least a vague idea of what.
Like, I can't remember the last time. Sorry, that was me.
All right.
I can't remember the last time I was like. Explain things to me like I'm a child.
Explain like I'm 5, which is a subreddit, Explain Like I'm 5.
Yeah.
Maybe you should visit there. When someone says something, you go, cool, I've got that. Right, what I'm going to do now is...
I Google things
I'll go back to the office, Explain Like I'm 5. What does this mean?
Wikipedia, various kind of...
But that's it. But the thing you also, like, that triggered a sort of memory for me of something that I've heard. When you go and see your GP and you're talking to them and they're tap, 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 they're not writing notes all the time. Sometimes they're Googling because they've got the degree, they've got their PhD or whatever.
Yeah.
They've done all the research, but they still don't know.
Yeah, it's
they
not
still
there
have
at the
to look
front
stuff
of their
up.
mind. They've got to,
So with you, when this guy explains something, you're like, I'm not entirely sure what that is. Tap, tap, tap. It's okay.
It's the same thing.
It's okay. You're not expected to know. You're not an expert in that field. And even when you do get experts in their field, like GPs, they still have to look stuff up. So,
and this is the thing. Like, I've also grown. The people that I'm interviewing now are more kind of CEO level.
Yeah.
You know, I've been talking to global CEOs of companies.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because again, like.
And those CEOs have forgotten a lot of that stuff that they're overseeing.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the thing. You know,
they don't do it anymore.
No, because they're more like some of them are almost like glorified presenters.
Yeah.
Like they just do talking.
They're the sales
to people. Yeah,
they do sales.
Essentially, yes. Yeah.
They're the businessmen now.
So it's interesting to kind of see how that is all happening. I'm going out to Marrakesh on Friday.
Oh, what a shame.
I know, right? Except that like 2 Swedish backpackers got beheaded somewhere around Morocco last week.
But you're not backpacking out
there. No, and
so,
I'm also not a blonde Swedish woman in a largely Muslim country.
Good point. Yeah.
You know. And I'm also not going out in the sticks. I'm going to watch Formula E.
Wow.
Yeah, on a Saturday.
That reminds me, I read a tweet this morning and it said, think how different car chases and films are going to be when electric vehicles are more mainstream.
Yeah, you won't get that lovely kind of Ford Mustang V8 sound.
You'll go with occasional as you go around the corner. Yeah. No,
so
that's a shame.
Quite
Marrakesh.
Cool. Yeah, I know. And this is the thing. Like, imagine it's what I said to Adam this morning. Imagine going back 5 years and telling yourself where you're going to be.
Yes.
You know, I mean, for him, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's no possible way he could ever have foreseen.
No, I mean, at least with you were
there was a possibility.
Journalism
I could
degree.
Get to.
You wanted to get into journalism, and journalists get sent around the world. So, but to say to yourself, in 5 years you will be doing that. It's like that's a really short amount of time to be at the level where I'm getting sent places. Like that's.
And then there's another thing coming up that I'm quite excited about,
Yes.
which could change things another gear even more.
Quite
but
likely, yes.
Yeah, if we'll just have to see.
We have to be vague at this point.
Yeah, you'll hear about that in February.
Yeah.
But rest assured, it's
cool.
It's quite big.
Yeah.
It's
quite.
And then there's yourself as well. I mean, you were working in the factory when we first started, or were you not?
Yeah,
in the factory?
I was in the factory. Yeah,
you were.
Yeah. Weird because even in the factory I started, because when we started I was just sort of like, I'll just get on with my work and I won't get involved in anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to get on with my work and that'll be my day. And,
it was a job.
Yes, and then I started working towards like, actually, do you know what? I kind of want to do more than this. So I started sort of setting my eyes on maybe a team leader job or going somewhere else in the factory and started doing training courses and things like that. And then started getting recognised, which was really nice, sort of like, because I started putting in work and helping out, started getting recognised for the work I was doing. And then I left.
Yeah.
And I completely changed careers.
Yeah.
Like now I have a career.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's also something that
I discovered within the last year or so at the factory that it was something I gave a shit about.
Because there were, you have anxiety problems. Or an anxiety.
And mild depression as well, apparently, according to my therapist at the time.
Which, I'm sure a lot of people don't even realise that they would have. You didn't realise you had it,
No, I which is straight, because even though my mum had severe depression, which evolved into like agoraphobia,
right,
as well.
Or agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia and agoraphobia.
There's two different things. Yeah. Or is it the American way of saying agoraphobia?
Exactly.
But I think
anyway,
that's it.
So she wouldn't leave the house. There you go. She developed a phobia because she was scared if she go out the house, she'd have a panic attack. Like that's how it escalates. So I have knowledge of mental health, and one of my ex-girlfriends had mental health problems, or friends. Like it was prevalent with our friends because that's the group we hung around with.
Yeah.
Angsty teens.
Yeah. Who have turned into angsty adults. I mean, I'm one of them.
Yeah. As am I, apparently. So I was aware of it, but you just kind of, when you start feeling it, and your mind goes, again, imposter syndrome, your mind goes, oh, maybe that's this. And you're like, nah, I ain't got that. Because this person's got that, and they're much worse than me. I haven't got it. Like, so you get the imposter syndrome there as well.
Yeah.
And it was imposter syndrome was something that it was technically Ron. Was it technically Ron?
I think so. The guy on Twitter who's got like Ron Weasley as his avatar, but isn't.
Is it him? He's the author.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who's speak
Weekly Geek Speak.
Weekly Geek Speak, and now he's published author, and he's shot off like he's. And people, I always see his posts on Facebook. Like, friends that I wouldn't think of sharing him, but he was the one that said imposter syndrome. And I was like, that's what I'm experiencing. It was sort of an exciting moment.
Yeah.
So you get it in your mental health as well. But yeah, so eventually it did get to a point where I had a bit of a breakdown at work and I had to go home, sat at home and went, maybe I should phone my doctor. Yeah. Because I had that sort of, because a lot of people would just lay in bed and, no, I don't want to bother anyone. Whereas I was like, oh, no, I need help.
I think when it comes to having a meltdown and then, having to go home.
Yeah, actually deciding to phone someone and do something about it is really difficult. I'm quite glad that I'm quite comfortable talking to Liz about it, and I was like, oh, maybe I should phone her. She's like, you should definitely phone the doctor. And when I went to the doctor and I was kind of brushed off, I come home and told Liz, she was like, no, you're seeing another doctor. And then she phoned up and complained and got me in with another doctor. So I'm quite lucky that I've got her in my corner. Not everyone does, obviously. But going through that, and then started talking about it at work, because I need to talk about it. I need people to know so they understand. Because part of my issue was people not understanding, not realising what was happening, and then that would make me more anxious because I'm like, oh, but if I do this, then they're going to feel like this. And so I thought, no, fuck it, I'm telling them. I'm going to tell them, and fuck them if they don't accept it. I've got the management, they're okay with me, they're on my side. So I had that And doing that and talking about it, actually people started talking to me about it and opening up, and I was like, oh, this is a good feeling. And that's where I started sort of looking to move around, and then this job came up, support worker, so I went for it, and it's really hard. It is a hard job. And I thought I would get that thing where you'd get excited to go to work every day.
Right.
I don't get that.
Right.
So I'm still there like, oh, fuck's sake. But once I'm there, so I'm on, and I'm really enjoying it.
I don't have that.
No.
You know, I don't wake up and go, yeah, let's
go to work.
Let's go and write about CAD.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like you, I don't dread going to work, and once I'm there, I am like, I've done 2 in the 3 days I've been at work last week.
Yeah.
I've done 2 and a bit features for February's. Like, I've just gone back and I'm fucking on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's no lag here. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
but like, it's the same thing. It's like we're both doing jobs we actually like. We find gratifying.
Yes.
But it's still not like I don't wake up and go, yes.
Yeah, and I've been quite lucky with the team I've been put with, that I've been working with at the minute. Like, we sort of like, there's the 2 support workers and 1 sort of nurse team leader that we work with I work with on a regular basis, and we all sort of like get on with our job, and I'm getting really good feedback about it as well. And I'm getting that thing where I tell people, like other people come in, agency workers and stuff, I come in and I'm like, oh yeah, because I've never done anything like this before, this is my first time. They're like, this is your first time? Like, you're new to this? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, I didn't think that was a thing.
Yeah.
And when I was doing my training, people were like, you've never done this before? I'm like, no.
That must be pretty cool.
It is nice. It's really nice. And like, when I was at work Friday night, our team leader, who is the nurse I work with, sometimes you have nurses, and then we've got 3 team leaders who are all nurses as well, and you have to have a nurse on shift, obviously.
Right.
I'm just lucky that my nurse that I work with is a team leader. Sometimes you'll work with a nurse who isn't a team leader, but she was like, oh yeah, so our ward manager, she's basically wants to split us up as a team so we can go and help the other teams.
Ah, right, yeah. I
like,
did wonder whether that would... Because you were one of the first people in. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, you were there from the ground.
Yeah.
So, like, you potentially have that...
But there's people I started with that I'm being asked to go and work with to help them.
Right.
And it's... All right, okay.
But you've always had that aptitude, though. That's the thing. Like,
apparently.
You are a person who does... I know that, like, school wasn't for you.
No.
but
not at all.
Since then, like, you went and got extra qualifications. You went and... You've always thrown yourself in.
Imposter syndrome, I suppose, yeah. I can't accept...
No, I know.
We can't accept praise.
You've just said yourself, like, even at that factory job that you didn't really enjoy...
Yeah.
That was just a job. You took it upon yourself to try and change their mental health policy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, that's quite a big thing to take on. And
you hearing it come out of someone else's mouth, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
No, but you just do that naturally. You've got that kind of.
That's true.
You do.
I get pissed off and want to change things. Yeah, it's true.
But that's how things get changed.
Yeah, it's weird when you say it like that. It's like, oh my god, and like I feel like my shoulders have just got heavier.
It shouldn't make you do that, because you made. No one else was doing it.
No, it's true. Well, Ben was doing it separate, and I didn't realise. So then we ended up sort of teaming up to do it, and nothing's changed because it's the stubbornness of that place.
Yeah. There are certain places that don't want to hear stuff like that. They talk about continuous improvement.
Yeah, he was actually made to take time off of work.
Holy shit! Really?
Insubordination.
Oh no!
Because he told them what he thought. Basically, yeah.
Wow.
And then they went, we don't like that, so you can take some paid leave. And he was like, okay, thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Paid holiday, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, the fucking bastards at that place, they really were. I can't get fired for it.
No.
I haven't not said their name either.
Not anymore.
It's fine. But yeah, so it's... But I still get that imposter. I still find it hard when people say nice things. Like one of the team leaders. It sounds really braggy, like humble brag when I say it, but it's not. It's something. It actually happened, and I just talk about stuff sometimes. But one of the team leaders came up to me. He goes, because I've spoken to him in the past, and was like, I don't know if I've really made the right choice. I don't know if I should be here. I'm still not quite comfortable. Blah blah. And he actually said to me the other day, he goes, no, I think you made the right career choice. I think you did the right thing changing careers. It's like, oh, thanks. That's really nice. I've gotten better at saying thank you.
Right, yeah.
And then walking up and going, no, I haven't. It's not. But yeah, I just say thank you out loud rather than going, oh, no, really? Okay, cheers. That's really nice to hear. I'm still not comfortable hearing it because you don't hear nice things all the time. I know people are really nice about us when they message in.
It's true,
They are, but it's really hard to accept. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to accept. I find it difficult to accept because in a way, and I don't know if it's part of the anxiety. I don't know if it's part of my mental health. I don't know if it's just natural imposter syndrome. I don't believe it when people say it.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to believe that I'm deserving of... Because in your head, when you're doing the job, like... When people say, oh, thank you for doing that, oh, thank you for doing that, oh, you're doing really well, I'm like, oh, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
And it's like, but people are saying like, yes, but you're doing your job well. Which
it's...
I feel like I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I suppose it's like I rarely get feedback on my work.
But that's where I'm quite lucky. This company places a huge emphasis on self-reflection. They do reflective practice sessions where you get together as a team.
Right.
Okay, what do you think we've done well? What do you think we've done poorly? And say something nice about somebody else. So they tell you, praise people, say nice things about people.
That's good.
So it's a really good practice to get into.
Because it keeps the whole team positive and on
more companies could benefit from doing
think so,
that.
yeah.
Like, even if like you've had a shit week, somebody just saying, "Oh yeah, do you remember when this happened? I think you handled that situation really well." Just that little thing would be really nice. And yeah, people actually do it. They actually practice what they preach at our place.
Yeah.
Just if you've got something nice to say, say it. So, and I've even started doing it. I said to her, like one of the lady I work with, I'm like, oh, you should just think about going into occupational therapy because you're good at organising activities and really good at planning and just doing it. And she's like, yeah, I did think about that before, and it sort of, that kind of gets it going in their head, and it sort of might encourage people to...
Well, yeah, I suppose it negates the imposter syndrome thing, doesn't it? If you're being told that you're doing something well and actually that someone sees an attribute in you that should be encouraged.
Yes.
Because if you don't get told, sometimes you just constantly are like, I don't know. Am I any good at this?
Yeah, and that's what happens with when people were saying nice stuff about me during training, and I'm sort of like, every time they say it, I'm like, you got sort of, and I'm saying it to Liz, and she's like, oh, yeah, people are saying really nice things. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I should start believing it. Like, you know what I mean? I still don't, but I accept it and go, okay, I'll just carry on as I'm doing. Apparently it's the right thing.
And I don't know as well whether that's something about being British. Because that's a very, very British sound. Do you know what I mean?
You look nice today. I like your coat.
Yeah, you know, this sort of thing,
I'm so humble. But it's not, I just don't believe you.
Yeah.
Is it natural scepticism? Is it that side of British? I don't believe you. What do you want? Who are you trying to get out of?
And this isn't us, fishing for...
Not in the slightest.
Because you know that we feel uncomfortable with it.
It is a don't. Like I said, it sounds humble braggy. But when I say it, I don't, like when I say, oh, this person said this and this person said this, I'm not like, oh, this person said this about me, it's like great. I'm like, this person said this about me, it made me really uncomfortable. I don't believe it at all. Like, it's that sort of, and you don't need to validate it for me, please. So it's, we're just talking about it, but yes, so like, and like the whole point of this is reflective. See how far we've come. We've done really well, but we don't believe it. It's just weird, isn't it? The focus of this episode is seeing how well we've done, how far we've come.
Actually. But so how was it over Christmas anyway? Because I know you were feeling a little like this could be the bleakest thing in the world.
Yeah, it was really odd.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the best.
Were you working Christmas
Eve night.
Christmas Eve night.
And Christmas Day night.
Right, yeah.
So the night of the 24th and the night of the 25th. So, excuse me. So on the 23rd, we had some of our family come to our house. We just sort of sat and just to see family over Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. What did I do Christmas Eve? Other than go to work. I don't think we did a lot, actually, during the day. We probably did, and I'm forgetting. But Christmas Day, so I got home just before 8 o'clock in the morning. Liz and Chloe were up waiting for me. So then we sat and opened our presents and sort of had a decaf tea, because that's what you do. You don't have caffeine. So decaf tea, I had something to eat, and we opened presents, and then I went to bed until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I don't know what Liz and Chloe did. And then, so I woke up, sort of got myself sorted, and then we went to the in-laws to have lunch. Spent some time with them. Then we went to my auntie's. My mum, her partner were there. Was my dad there? Yes, Dad was there. There was a few family members there. It was really nice, but then we were there for about an hour, and then I had to leave.
Yeah.
And that was, it was quite upset. I was quite upset in the car, actually, at the time.
I can imagine.
But, so just sort of leaving my family, they sell it on Christmas Day, because I wasn't feeling festive, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter, it's fine.
Yeah.
But actually, leaving, saying goodbye to everyone while they're celebrating, it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
But I got to work, it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, you sort of get into your work mode.
Yeah.
And just get on with it. It's a day at work. So that was hard. Yeah, Boxing Day, again, it was sort of coming home, sleeping for a couple of hours and then getting up. I can't remember what we did. I think we went to my mum's on Boxing Day. Yeah, we had some food.
I mean, I tend to find that Christmas and New Year and stuff, all the days start to merge into one anyway.
So what did we do? Were they there? I can't remember if they were there or not. There was quite a few people there. Was he? What? I don't know. So I said, yeah, my dad was there. I'm still not convinced he was there. I'm trying to see, like, in my mind, who was sat around the table.
He'll let you know, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, so it was, that was really hard. But Boxing Day went to my mum's, and then the 27th, I think, was the day we sort of just sat at home, just us. Yeah, because Liz took it off of work, so that was the Monday, wasn't it? So we just sat at home, and was it the Monday? That wasn't the Monday at all.
Christmas Eve was Monday.
And New Year's Eve was Monday, so the 27th definitely wasn't Monday.
No.
So whatever day it was, Liz was supposed to be working, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Thursday it was. So that was the day we had together, and then she went to work on the Friday. And New Year's Eve, turns out Liz's friend cancelled at the last minute.
Oh,
so
no.
we just sat at home.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. It was weird, because we were like, oh, we should do something, like me and Tom. And then I got home, told Liz, she's like, oh, but so-and-so's invited us round. Oh, okay. So I can't do anything, Tom. Yeah, so-and-so. Liz's work friends invited us. And then, like, she cancelled last minute. I was like, for fuck's sake. And I know you weren't doing much anyway, were you?
We did fuck all, mate.
And we did fuck all, but the problem is, because it was last minute,
Yeah.
you settled in, you're like, right, this is us for the evening. So
Well,
it's
yeah, like-
I'm not going to text Tom and say, come round.
Madness.
Because the difficulty with it is as well is, like, if you'd have come round, like, one of you wouldn't have been able to drink so much. And
and likewise with you guys.
so it's like...
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to do stuff, and taxis that late on a New Year's Eve
you're not
ain't
gonna
happening.
find them. Nah.
So
To be
it
honest,
was
Joe
just-
went to bed at like midnight, I suppose.
Yeah,
Waited up,
Liz.
watched the fireworks, and then went straight to bed. And I was like, well, I'm watching the rest of Madness.
Yeah.
Because Madness.
Because madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
And then
went
I was
to bed
like,
sort of...
I've still got a glass of wine. Red Dead Redemption 2 then. And then all of a sudden it was 4 o'clock in the morning and I had half a glass of wine left.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
Because...
So New Year's Day was a complete fucking write-off.
Yeah. But so we both... You got it, because you got Red Dead for Christmas.
Yeah.
I got Red Dead for Christmas. I haven't actually spent a lot. I've only played it twice.
Have you?
About 2 hours at a time. So I'm still on chapter 2.
Right.
But I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy playing it because of the whole farming. You know, you've got to make sure your bars are full up, and you've got to skin animals, hunting, looking after the camp.
You've got to do the chores around the camp.
I'm fully, like my horse, I'm fully like with him already.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
it was
it
really
doesn't
quick.
take long.
But I find that I sit there 2 hours. I'm like, that was a success. Like, I've done loads. And then I think about it, and no, I've just collected debts from 3 people. That's all I've done in 2 hours.
Yeah, because it takes 20 minutes to go from one thing to the next.
Oh my God. Horses. And we all know how much, from my early sort of Red Dead Redemption gameplay videos, how much I love riding horses. And I'm thinking, do I have to keep, like, I'm riding, I'm like, do I have to keep my thumb down on X? Let's let go and just hold forwards. Oh, no, I don't need to hold X at all.
No.
And have you drifted with your horse yet?
Yes.
That's really odd.
What's that
mechanic.
about? I don't really understand when that comes in handy.
And the control system makes no sense.
No.
If you want to drift, you kind of hold R1, press square, and like, why? Like, it's really awkward and clunky.
Yeah.
The controls on the horse, the controls in general.
Yeah, they're not great.
Because one of the messages I sent Tom.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Where are we? Sorry, I'm looking through my...
I've shot so many people.
By accident.
And then
it's so easy to do.
And then started fights, and then you're wanted, and you got a bounty, so you got to pay that off.
Yeah, and then you're only earning like 20 cents every time you fucking do a mission or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I texted Tom, and I said like, "Oh, I see you were playing Red Dead 2 last night, as was I." And I did say I wasn't expecting to be rescuing him in the mountains.
Indeed.
And then I texted him a little bit later and said, "Note: R2 shoots people; it doesn't focus on them because it's L2 to focus on people to talk to them,
and that feels weird.
So you naturally press R2.
Yeah, and then you blow them away.
Yeah, and then
because he basically R2 is shoot from the hip, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just like
why not
indiscriminately in that direction?
Yeah, because you think it can't be L2 because L2's aim, and I don't want to aim at this person, so it must be R2. And it's like, no, that's to shoot them. Oh, okay, yeah. Because sometimes L2 is to aim at the person if you're supposed to shoot them.
Yes.
But if you're not supposed to shoot them, L2 just focuses on for you to talk to them.
And then you can talk to them.
It was just a random guy. I think it's a guy whose horse escapes.
Right.
I think it was. And you have to go give the horse back to him, and then you need to talk to him afterwards.
Yeah.
And I shot him.
Yeah, I've done that as well, and I wondered whether that was like something that could earn you, certain things, or
and it's just so accidental. And there's like videos online of people accidentally, like when they go up to talk to someone, or they go to look in a cupboard, but there's a person stood next to the cupboard.
Yeah.
And they press circle and punch the person. Yeah. It's just like, what?
Well, I did a thing. I met a bloke in the middle of the prairies. This like Mexican guy who challenges you to shoot.
He's the sharpshooter in the bottles.
Yeah,
or
the
jars.
bottles.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was like, right, okay, well, he was like, take your shot. So I shot a thing, and then he got really angry and started shooting me, and I shot a bottle. Like I
were supposed to.
I was supposed to, so I just blew him away and was like...
Oh, he's gone in your game now, is he?
Yeah.
He's still in my game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't upset him.
I don't know what I did. I did what he asked.
That's the thing. That's one of your strangers, and you can. I think you meet up with him throughout the game,
right?
To do challenges.
No,
so you haven't got him anymore, so you can't do that challenge.
Right.
So shit, trophies. Fuck.
Oh no.
But I don't know if he's completely gone.
No. Well, he definitely is.
Okay, because you shoot the bottles, and then he challenges you to shoot the birds out of the sky.
Oh really?
I lost both times because I just can't get Deadeye.
Right.
Like you click for Deadeye. And then sometimes it moves fast, and then it slows down, and then it speeds up, and I just can't. And then sometimes you're like, I want to do him, and him, but you do Deadeye, and you focus on a person, you try to move away, it doesn't move fast, and you shoot that guy about 5 times, and then once on him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deadeye has always been a bit like that, even on the first one.
Yeah, it's very finicky.
Because
sharpshooting.
The
duels, yeah.
I often find that I'm pressing R2 to fire, and it's just putting loads more crosses.
Yeah.
And then by the time you actually go to fire, that guy's fired off at you.
Yeah, and killed you.
And you're like, well, I don't really understand how Deadeye really works.
Yeah. But I do like how throughout the game, if you're battling people, and occasionally you'll get a real dramatic shot where you've shot the person, and
it goes
they're
in
sort of
slow
falling back,
motion
and then it
sepia.
focuses. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I do like the cinematic shots sometimes. And I don't understand. I seem to remember when you were following people on horseback, you could hold X and you'd match pace with them.
Yeah,
which it still does.
But it doesn't turn.
But it doesn't follow the roads anymore.
No.
Like you used to, or if you were going from town to town, you could hold X as you were galloping, and it would just follow the road you were on. And if you wanted to turn off, it doesn't. But sometimes it does.
Yeah. I know.
And I think in those times it does. You're supposed to go into cinematic view.
Can you go into cinematic view?
Yeah, if you hold the trackpad, you trackpads to change it. If you hold it, it will go into cinematic,
that
and it looks
makes more
really cool.
sense. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It really looked cool.
Yeah.
What else was I doing? So there's a guy who says, "I saw you in Blackwater," and you're like, "No,
the guy
and you have
who
to
run
chase
off the
him.
cliff.
And he's hanging on the edge of the cliff, and I was like trying to walk up to the edge of the cliff, and you can't walk up to the edge of the cliff.
No.
You kind of you hit an invisible wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder how long he hangs there before I can save
really?
him. He fell off.
Oh, no.
But just after he fell off, I was still trying to walk to the edge of the cliff. The invisible wall disappears, and I fell off the cliff and died. And I went back and redid that mission because I wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see my rating for that mission because I didn't finish it because I died. And then I did save him the second time. So it's so annoying. It is so frustrating.
There are bits about it that you just like you say, the mechanics are quite clunky in places, and especially when it goes into auto aim and you're aiming at someone who isn't the closest person to you in a firefight, because you're like, no, I need to hit that guy because he's about to kill me. You know?
So then you let go of aim and then you flick across a little bit and then you do it and it focuses on
someone else
again. And, but it's fun.
There's a lot of weird stuff. Like, there's some weird stuff. I think you can miss a lot in it.
Yeah.
As well, because I was going from one debtor to the next.
Yeah.
And I'm further. Oh, was it while I was still in that? I've gone to another camp.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I can't remember which camp it was when I was doing this.
Right.
I was riding back towards one of the townships, and I just saw like a pool of blood. Yeah. Just off the road.
Right.
And I was like, I rode past it and I was like, oh, wait, what was that? Went back and there's like a leg and some offal, like intestines and stuff. And I was like, oh, weird. And there's a trail of blood going off away from the road. And I was like, oh, fuck it, gun out.
Yeah.
And miles, like it's a trail that goes off.
Right into
and you're
thinking
woods.
Nobody has that much blood in them.
Yeah, but also, like, what am I finding at the end of this?
Yeah.
This is weird. And what you find at the end of it is the torso of the body crucified on a rock.
Oh, wow.
With, like, some words. I think it's like...
Oh, I think I've heard about
this. You
can
see me or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the head is over on another rock with a piece of parchment shoved in its mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a clue to some sort of serial killer.
I've heard about this serial, this mission.
I don't know what happens with that because I'm trying not to look things up.
And trying not to get too sidetracked as well, I suppose. The thing I find difficult about games like this now, GTA 5 did it, is...
See, I never got GTA 5 because of exactly this.
Oh, no, so it's actually even the main story mission is... You've got like 3 or 4 different missions you can do at a time.
Yeah.
Which one progresses the story?
Yeah.
And I think you do all of them. And I think what ends up happening, and it happened with GTA 5, is you'll get so far with one person, one character, and that character has no more missions for you. So then you can do the next one.
I get you.
So you can do them in any order. It doesn't matter. But it's still... I don't know who to go with.
How do I prioritise which one?
Yeah, and then there's one all the way over here, and it's like, I don't want to go to that one, but then I did.
Yeah.
That's the last mission I did.
But then there's optional ones around the camp as well, where like when people start having arguments, you need to go over to them because they're not signposted.
Yeah.
And then you'll often get a mission that comes off the back of that.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's
good. It's good.
I went on my first fishing thing the other day.
There's fishing?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And I didn't realise, I thought you had to catch a certain number of fish.
Right.
I kept catching fish.
Fuck.
And then I realised that actually, no, you can just stop catching fish if you want and go back to camp. It was getting ridiculous. I was like, when do I
stop?
Is it looking for me to catch a particular type of fish? Yeah. I don't know. It's ridiculous. The game is so stupid.
But
it's really quite addictive as well.
Yeah, that's what I find is like there's not much story going on.
Like Joe doesn't understand how the fuck I can sit there and just do this for hours on end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's kind of it's weirdly like you riding through the countryside. It's just nice to look around.
Yeah.
Like
I find I do that a lot. I'm just like riding in one direction and my camera's pointing in a completely different direction.
Yeah, just watching like the mountains change colour and stuff.
I love
like that.
crashing into people.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There's one of the debtors who leads you to like his buried treasure. He gives you a treasure map, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't trust you. I'm hog-tying you and I'm taking you with me. So I hog-tied him, chucked him on the back of the horse, crashed into someone. The guy fell off the back of the horse and died. And then the other person ran off and called and reported the crime. Like that I'd kidnapped someone and killed them. And I got a bounty on my head because I didn't trust this guy. So stupid. But it's funny. And I was like, okay, I don't need to take him with me now. The treasure must be there.
I quite want to get back to the old map, though, the Blackwater and all that kind of thing. Because...
you want to see what it looked like?
Yeah, you go back there and you can't get into the town because you're literally wanted dead or alive there. So people will just shoot you.
Yeah.
But I want to say, because you can't go down that end of the map that was the old game.
You can get in there.
You can?
But you have to sort of hack your way in there.
Right, yeah.
Somebody's done it and got into the old part of the map. It is there.
Oh, right.
And it's modelled and everything. So it makes you think, eventually we're going to get in there.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Okay.
But yeah, there's parts of the map that are locked off that you can actually get into.
Right.
Somehow. But I haven't looked into how to do it yet because no.
I just quite like the way that the game's unfolding, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's really good. It's great. The story's slow. It progresses slow, but you get fully invested in it because of that. It's not one of these quick, like Uncharted. It's quick.
No,
the story just goes and goes and goes.
Spend time. Lots of time.
Yeah. There's too many characters. Like I don't know who's who in the camp. I don't know where. Like I'm in my camp.
I know what you mean.
And that character that you save, I don't know where he is in the camp. I haven't seen him since we've been at Horseshoe Overlook.
Right.
But I know he's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Because his kid's there.
Okay, right, yeah.
So, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, it's, I think that's one of those things, because I find myself sometimes, it's like last night, I only had a little bit of my drink left before going to bed. And she was like, I expect I'll just see you in the morning. And I was like, no, I'm literally just going to kind of... finish this and then I will be up in like 10 minutes. And I literally just went on there and played a game of dominoes with one of them. Like that was all I did last night, and then I turned it off and went, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Like I didn't do anything else. I find myself wandering around just talking to people.
You know how you said, I agree everyone that'll go past.
Yeah.
Sometimes I antagonise them.
Just to see what happens.
Have you ever called out to someone?
Yes.
Because you know you can greet, antagonise and call out.
Yeah.
If you're far enough away, you press triangle, I think.
Yeah.
And you call out to them. I was like, I wonder what call out is. And I called out to them. I was like, hey, sir, stop. And as you get up to them, the options are like, rob them or kill them. And I'm like, I don't want to do either of that. Or steal vehicle or rob them.
That wasn't the point.
I just thought I was being nice. I don't want to. And then I was just like, never mind. And it says, hey, sir, stop. Oh, fucking hell, what? Never mind. Oh, you cunt. Can you imagine? They're so why are they the only options? I'm trying to be a good guy the whole way through it.
Yeah.
I'm helping people.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to be a bad guy.
A part of Dutch's gang, you're supposed to be like a bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm really nice. I help everyone. Yeah. Oh, your car, you've broken your wheel. Yeah, I'll help you put it back on. Oh shit.
Just, I think it says something about us, maybe.
Yeah.
But I've always done
in
that,
GTA.
Though.
I'll blow their heads off every opportunity I get.
Different kind of feeling, isn't it? I don't know.
But I do. I
get really fucked off when I lose a hat. It's the
when
most
you get in a
annoying
fight
thing.
and you drop your hat,
for fuck's sake. Like,
but the problem is, I want to keep my hat.
Yeah.
But I want their hat as well, and I don't know what to do.
No,
I don't. Can you store the hats?
I think so, but I really honestly don't know how.
Because I was fighting someone and they had a really nice bowler hat, and I thought, I want that. It doesn't fit with the outfit I'm wearing at the minute, but I want his hat. I'm like,
I picked myself up a flat cap
I want my
the other
hat.
day. Because my guy's got like the shaven sides of the head.
Oh, have you done that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also like the mutton chops that go up to a moustache.
Oh,
And
really?
I shave the
Oh, no,
middle
mine's
out.
clean shaven.
Right.
I'm clean shaven, and I've got the waxed hair.
Right.
But then I wear a hat. But because you can cut your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
But only when it gets long. It's not like the other games where you can just suddenly have long hair. Yeah, you can't just suddenly have long hair, though.
Right, yeah.
You have to let it grow.
Let it grow. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Same with the shaving. You've got to let your beard grow if you want a different style. Oh. And you spend time doing that.
I know.
I'm going to let it grow out. Stupid.
I did warn Joe, like, at the beginning of the year, when they said it was coming out in the summer, I was like, you won't see me.
Hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
The thing is,
it's likely I'll never complete it.
I get the problem with it. I don't get the chance. The only time I can play it is once Liz and Chloe have gone to bed.
Yeah, this is the same with me.
So, we would sit and Liz and Chloe watch their TV programs, and then Liz will watch her programs once Chloe's gone to bed. And then she'll get upset with me because I'm not playing my games instead of going to bed. And it's like, but I couldn't play it at any other time.
I know, yeah, this is exactly how I am.
You told my mum to buy it for me.
Yeah. When am I going to?
I can't play it when you're watching TV.
Yeah. Because my other thing as well is that we got the Lego Incredibles game as well. And so that's something that she wants to play. But I'm like,
Red Dead.
Yeah, this is my warm-up. Yeah.
But I'm quite lucky that I don't want to try anything else. So I'm doing on days this week. Well, Monday and Tuesday, I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. They're at school work.
Yeah, good point.
So, but also I do want to start trying to practice my writing muscles.
Okay.
Because we got some quite good feedback from after the podcast.
Yes.
Time.
Yeah.
And I do want to do that. And we've had offers of other people helping out, which I will take them up on at some point, but I don't want to end up relying on them and having them do all the work. Because they can write.
Yes.
And I can, I just don't. I haven't written for a long time, so it's hard. I don't want to be vague here, but you'll know when it happens.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be a standalone thing. But I do want to kind of use the Patreon as I want to do like a pilot on our Patreon for it.
Yeah, well, that just makes sense, doesn't it?
Like a short, like a 3-parter or something like that. But it's annoying that Netflix took our idea.
Right, yeah, Bandersnatch, huh?
Yeah.
I've still not watched it because I haven't watched through the series preceding it.
No, I've watched the first
two series, and then I got to like an episode that made me feel really grimy, and like something happened in it, and I was like,
don't like that.
I don't know whether I can continue.
Yeah,
and I just haven't gone back to it because it was so like mean-spirited.
Oh, really?
And I was like, it just made me feel a bit like, oh god.
But was it supposed to?
Yeah, I think
that's
it
the whole
probably
genius
was.
of it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and you take away from it what you bring to it, I guess. But I want to watch more of it.
Yeah.
But there's just so much around at the moment. Like,
yeah,
you know, there's so much on Netflix. There's so much on terrestrial TV. Even like the last few nights we've been watching Luther.
Yeah, it's back or something.
Yeah, I mean it's finished now.
Okay.
Because it was on for 4 nights in a row, and that's it.
So I started to watch the first series of Luther, and I was like, I think a pigeon just fell out of the tree.
Yeah.
And died. Just so it landed. So I don't know if you would have heard it listening to this, but something just landed on the roof.
Thudded.
But it wasn't like it landed, like it just kind of. Oh shit.
Hopefully it's just a branch that's fallen out of the tree, but hey.
Yes, yeah. So Luther is something I tried to watch and I couldn't get into it.
Right.
I think I would because I do enjoy programs like that. Black Mirror, I enjoyed the first episode, but Liz didn't, so that was difficult.
That's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. Because Black Mirror is another one of those things that I would only be able to watch on my own.
Yeah. I don't think, like with Bandersnatch, I don't think you have to watch all of.
No, I think it's pretty much standalone.
Because every episode of, most episodes of Black Mirror are standalone episodes, aren't they? Yeah. So Bandersnatch, I think, would be a standalone thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
but you know me.
Because I've heard that Netflix's original, because it's a choose your own adventure, they've actually done one kind of done one before, which is Minecraft Story Mode.
Oh, right.
Is a game on the PC. It's a Telltale game, but they released it on Netflix as well. But it's slightly different in how you play it, but it's a choose your own thing as well.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that's what they did it with originally.
Yeah, to see whether it would work.
Yeah, maybe. So obviously saying bloody Netflix stole our idea with Bandersnatch. They've been making it for a while, and I only said about that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thought I've had for a long time.
I got an entire episode of my other thing done.
You have?
Just before Christmas.
Wow.
Not recorded, but I scripted it out entirely.
Oh, you wrote?
In like 3 sittings.
Wow.
I just sat down and just pumped it out.
Oh, brilliant. So what is that, the second?
That'll be episode 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because you have got some written.
I've got
but it's
2 and 3 half written.
But you've got one recorded.
One done and recorded.
Which is the pilot intro.
No, in which case I've got 2.
Oh, okay.
Recorded,
so I know we were talking last time.
Yeah, I'm slowly working my way. There's only a couple more episodes that I want to do for series 1, if you like.
Yeah.
But yeah, depending on what happens at the end of the month, it will be put back even further.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating because every time I get to a point.
Because you're creative. Christmas does that, doesn't it? Christmas break gets people creative.
Well, I also had all those extra days off.
To take off, yeah.
And I didn't have Red Dead Redemption by that point either. So, like, I was using all of my free time.
Yeah.
And I just sat down for a few hours every day and just wrote.
Good.
So yeah, again, it's just like I got to a point where I was like, "Oh my god, I've completed an entire episode. I can do this again." And then it will be like every week I'll have scripted something, and then all I need to do take all those scripts down to the shed, record for a day or something, and then just start putting things together. Because I've also, while I've been scripting it, I've been organising the soundtrack at the same time. So literally all I need to do is record the narration, and I know what's going in.
You know what music's going in.
So it's essentially easily finishable.
Yes. I suppose the writing is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the hardest thing to do is to say it's finished enough.
Yes.
And put it out. That would be the hardest thing.
Yeah, because
when you've recorded it and you're editing and you can hear the little bits, but nobody else will, and you want to perfect it. But then if you take that out, then it actually sounds a bit unnatural.
I know for a fact that the one that I have finished that is a proper episode has got a mispronunciation in it.
Which annoys the hell out of you.
Yeah,
yes.
Which means I need to go back in and re-record that word.
Do you need to?
Kind of, because it's a name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you know, like, people who listen who know that name probably wouldn't forgive you for it. Yeah. But, And I sent you a picture over Christmas because I got a little USB interface, which is just like a plug one microphone in.
Yes.
So I could record at home, and it's USB powered, so there's no massive setup. And I was looking at getting, you know, the microphone shields you get that go round the microphone.
Right, yeah.
To stop reflections. Apparently they're pointless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that saved me a bit of money.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to get one, but apparently you don't need one. It's actually dampening behind you and to the sides more than anything you need. Not behind the microphone, because these don't pick up noises.
They're not omnidirectional, are they?
No.
Yeah.
So you don't need it.
Yeah.
And if you get an omnidirectional mic, what's the point if you don't need one?
Yeah,
exactly. So, hey, let's get into tech talk. So, like if I want to... Because I originally got it because I was going to... Like I did start... I put it on my wish list and it was brought for me. Because I was going to get it just for doing Twitch streams.
Right, gameplay.
So I started playing Assassin's Creed 1.
Oh, right.
I started playing on Twitch. And it was just like getting my desk out and setting all that up was a pain in the ass. Whereas with this, I can just pop it on the desk next to me, plug my mic in, plug it into, and it's done. It's easy setup.
So simple.
Yeah, I still haven't used it yet though. but it's one of those things. When I do eventually write and do like a pilot for this thing we were talking about, I can just do it at home. Just what I want to do is I just want to do a pilot, sort of try it out on my own. Figure out if I need people. I don't know whether to do it as like little standalone things or do it as a continuous seasonal thing with the same... Haven't got any ideas yet, really. But it's so difficult. like just coming up with that idea of what's like what. Yeah, and it's so difficult to talk about it without talking about it as well.
Yeah.
Hey. Anyway,
but the best thing is to workshop it, I guess.
Yeah.
Just
have
a chat with people, perhaps.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about we need to probably start doing YouTube stuff again before we leave it another year.
Yeah, I've forgotten all those levels that we fucked up on.
So
the
that we didn't record. We didn't fuck them up. We finished it and it didn't record. And there was a good running joke throughout it that would now seem really forced if we did it again, but we probably will.
Probably try something like that.
Yeah.
We've also got some lines to.
Oh shit, we do. Yes.
Don't we?
Yes. Good point.
We're going to be
flex our acting muscles.
We're going to be in an audio drama.
Yeah, we'll do that actually today because there's no point. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have much in the way of stuff to do for after the podcast. So sorry about that.
Yes, I did actually think as well about what we could do. I was thinking about
there will
voices.
be an announcement.
Yes,
there will be an announcement, I guess. But apart from that, I don't think there's going to be much.
I'm lost. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
I can't figure it out.
It's fine.
You'll remind me.
Because it's a patron only thing. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yes, Wisked.
So I'm going to flex my acting chops. I have thought about voices as well, but I don't know which character each of us is going to play.
No, we'll sort that out. It'll be fine.
And I think what I'm going to do as well, because we've got these lines, but we've got the whole scene that we're going to be in, so we've got other characters that we're not going to play.
Yeah.
And I think to make it a bit more believable, we sort of need to read as those characters as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, essentially we're going to be characters in the upcoming Ritz Cricker and Dick Disturbance radio play on the All Seeing Guys podcast.
Yeah, we're going to guest.
Quite exciting.
It is. Because it's something I've wanted to try for ages. I've wanted to do sort of voice acting audio just to give it a go, but we've never had anything to do.
Yeah, well, this is one of the things that I was going to.
And we didn't ask for it. They just said, "Can you do this?" I'm like,
exactly.
Wicked.
Yes, we can. So yeah, we're going to get on and do that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a catch up after Christmas and New Year, isn't it? It's nice to have a look back, and kind of realise and kind of, I don't want to say pat ourselves on the back because that sounds it's not, is it?
Again, it's sort of self-reflection.
Just recognising and kind of taking a moment to be like, we've been doing this for 5 years, and in that time, all this has changed.
Yeah. I got married. I bought a house.
Yeah, and as well. Even that happened.
Yeah. We've got personal lives as well as professional.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see what has happened for us, and and some of the other guys that we've kind of come up with. Yeah. In the past 5 years. There are a lot of podcasts that have gone by the way. By the wayside in 5 years. I know that some of the guys from Weekly Geek Speak are thinking about doing something else. What that is, we're not sure. Yeah. The American guys have all gone off, basically. Yeah. Except Andrew and Kelly, of course.
Andrew and Kelly are still going. Yeah. Did you see they started YouTube stuff?
Yes,
they built the gingerbread house.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it, but I was watching it, and then I think Kelly brought like a German. It was like a German themed one. So it's like a gingerbread house with sweets, and she's going through it. And she's going, I got this little boy and this little girl. I think the boy's holding a loaf of bread. What's that about? And then there's a witch as well. And I'm like, that's Hansel and Gretel. And like when I was watching it, but like the point I got to, she hadn't made the connection yet. I hope she did. I'm like, that's Hansel and Gretel. Like, it was funny. I'm screaming at my phone.
God damn
it! Yeah. But to be fair, is that a really well-known fairy tale in America?
No, not sure.
It must be.
You think so, because it's a European folklore thing. And, most people from America are in some way descended from Europeans, and they should share the same folk.
Yeah, the stories should have sort of carried on through there as well. But yeah, it was just like, that was funny.
But yeah, and like, and even some of the podcasts that have kind of gone by the wayside, other people have come back in and are doing their own thing and stuff like that. And the friends that we have as well, like the actual podcasters themselves, have all kind of been through things, and it's just interesting to see where all these people have kind of travelled, you know, in their lives. And I kind of hope as well that it, in a way, in some small way, it's kind of inspiring to other people. Like, you know, because we've had listeners get in contact with us in the past about going through hard times and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the whole point of this, as we said at the very beginning, is that like it was kind of a need for kind of to chat, and kind of it's a form of therapy for us, as well as it's
a way for us to
as well as
better
it's a lot
ourselves.
of fun. It's you and me coming together and kind of talking through problems and talking through like trying to make sense of things in the world that we're like, what the fuck? That's the point of Anywhere But Here. And in a way, not to sound too fucking wanky, I kind of hope that if there is anyone out there that is having a tough time, like the fact that we've both kind of come through some pretty crap jobs or crap things going on in our lives, and we've come through and we're going forward with it. I kind of hope that that's being taken on board. And
it's definitely seeing the success of Adam and like others. It kind of, 'cause even in the like seeing that when the Nerd Church was still about, like they were sort of going for it. Like,
I mean,
that
they
was really inspiring.
They were starting to get like, I mean, they had Patton Oswalt on. They had proper.
I mean, Sean presented a panel at Comic Con. A Comic Con of like the Justice League cartoon, the voice actors. Like,
because they got really friendly with the woman who did the kind of the Wonder Woman voice. And a really good Gina B cosplayer as well, like a big cosplayer. Like and Patton Oswalt was on, and like they were having, so seeing that success sort of spurred us to try harder, and do better things. And seeing Adam, it's kind of like inspired. I know it's like inspired you to sort of go with your documentary idea that you had, and it's like, oh, he could do it. Like that's how to. So, and I would imagine that because Scott had the idea for Rainbow Valley before, but I would imagine it was sort of seeing Adam sort of inspires people. I don't want to say that is the reason. And Scott has gone on to be one of the most prolific podcasters in our group now.
Busy. You know, he's a busy man.
It's ridiculous the amount of content that he comes out with.
So,
and he's another one that kind of inspires me as well, because it's like, fuck, like, how much content?
Yes.
Like, every week.
And you work full time.
And you work full time, and also like, you know, he's into food and stuff, which I didn't really know. Like he bakes and stuff on Sundays. Like that's his little thing. I do enjoy baking. I don't do it as much as I'd like to, but that's something I do as well. Yeah, in my private life. I don't know how people have time for that. But so it's and like you say, seeing like the tough times we've gone, like you can, like if people are struggling, like you can do it. Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, and all it takes sometimes is just to kind of talk it through with people. Yes. That's the thing, and that's the point of this, really. Yeah, and the amount of realisation that we're talking and we go, oh yeah. Like you talk about it and it makes you realise stuff. Yeah. So what we're saying is start a podcast. Yeah. And just talk to your friends. Find people that you don't even necessarily. I think doing the podcast is good because it holds us accountable and it forces us to get together and talk. Yeah. Definitely. I think it does. Like, because what else would I be doing on this Sunday? Do you know what I mean? Like, playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And it's even like this was a replacement for music for us as well. Yes, like, because we weren't doing that. But now I'm in 2 bands. Yeah, as well. And doing this. That's why you don't do as much content as other people. Yeah, because you work and you're in 2 bands. Yeah. And you podcast. Yeah, learning songs takes a while. Yes, it does. Especially when you got like 3 hours to fill sometimes. Yes, that's a lot. But you know, it's just it's everything about this whole last 5 years has been inspiring. Yeah, it's crazy. Nothing but positivity has come out of it. All right, in the moment we may have felt negative about various things, and I even felt negative about this podcast at one point. Yeah. We did struggle for a bit when we were trying too hard, I think. We were trying to make it something. Yeah. We were trying to force it into a mould. Yeah. And it's just and that wasn't what it was. That's not what this is. Yeah. But we realised and we stopped it. Yeah. And, you know, it's I love getting together with you every other Sunday
I do.
and having a chat.
I do. I look
love
forward to it.
kind of the fact that people listen and are involved in our lives.
Yes.
And we've made really, really good friends in the last 5 years.
We really have.
And long may it continue, I guess.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even though we're doing our own things as well, and like work may start getting in the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
we've got to try and find time for it. This is something we make time for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there is no.
It does get to the point where it's like with this, I make time for it. Liz makes time for it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Mum wants to go and do this Sunday, but you're recording. Can you move it? Or can you, like she's not saying can you cancel? It's like, will you be able to do it another time?
Yeah.
We won't be able to do this if you do it then, and blah blah. Or her mum will phone up. When's Ant free? Like, when's he not podcasting on a Sunday?
Yeah.
So
My mum is always like, so are you podcasting this weekend?
Yeah.
Or is it,
or can I see you?
Yeah.
It is weird. It's like, no, we would come and see you. It's been a while, but Ant's podcasting, so we can't. Shit. But hey, because I think our family see the positive effect it has on our life.
Yeah, I think so. I'm always in a much better mood afterwards. I go up into the house.
I'm very chatty afterwards. I go home and try and talk to Liz, and she's like, "Just stop."
No. It's so disappointing, isn't it? Because you're like, "Hey, we've been talking about this, and this, and it was really interesting." And they're like, "I don't care." Yeah. Oh, okay, right. I've got to bottle that up until next fortnight.
Oh God. It's nice to have something.
But yeah, and as I say, if you're going through something rubbish, it will get better.
Reach out to us
and have a chat.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of this: is to have a chat.
Reach out to someone. Reach out to us. Reach out to a friend.
Yeah,
definitely. Talking helps. I do. I massively believe talking helps, which is why I found it weird when I was trying to get that mental health thing going at the factory, when like the the occupational therapist there. Is it? Yeah, he was an occupational. He's a doctor. He was like, we just don't want to encourage people to talk too much about their mental health. Why?
What the fuck are you talking about?
We don't want to encourage too much talk about mental health. Why?
What? Because people will start feeling better and be more productive.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you want that?
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
This notion, like very old school, don't talk about it, or just don't give people the idea, because if you let people talk about their mental health, then they'll start using it as an excuse. I think some people are cunts, but you can usually spot that if they're not actually ill.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And that was his specialty as well. That was his specialist area, was mental health. Odd.
It doesn't make any sense.
I massively believe in talking therapies.
Absolutely.
Massively.
Yeah. And this is one of them.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more therapy in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. Be in charge.
Yeah. So until then, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a great holiday period. Whatever. And happy 2019. Let's make it a positive one. Until next time, I've been Tom.
No, I don't know.
Bye.